अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनी अम्ब त्वामनुसन्ततामि भगवद्गीते भगवद्वेषिणी.
You have to start from Sankara makes a statement.
Yeah.
Sankara makes a statement here. That the one who does an action is the one who is affected by its result. If you think you are a karta, you are accountable for your actions, and you'll have punya papa, sukha dukkha, the entire samsara. In other words, the doer is the employee, enjoyer. That is, as you sow, so shall you reap. So when Atma performs no action, next question is, who does the karma? You are not visible here. Is there another Atma that performs action while this one does not? If that is so, we have two Atmas and therefore duality. Then the problem is sentences like know me as a Kshetrajna. In all Kshetras, Kshetrajnam Chapi Mam Vidhi Sarvaketsu. Sarvakshetresu.
We have seen this, 13.2.
Yeah.
One alone, non-dual, Ekameda Vidyekam.
Ekameva Advitiyam.
Ekameva Advitiyam.
Yeah, that is a Chandogya reference. Tadeva Soumya Idam Agre
Asit Ekam.
Ekameva Advitiyam. That is what it is. Like the sense, it's a very famous statement which which I quoted also some of my write-ups and all to you all. So that what it says is Satyeva is now, it is what was there earlier also. So either you can say there is the way in which Sat means this moment, what is as reality, the whole thing, without any differentiation. Differentiation is basically because of name and form, because of our, which I have told also, because of our sense perceptions, and we give it a name and all continuously. We basically it's all one light of consciousness, that is Atma. So that is what is there as Sat right now. In that there is no time or space. Even before time and space, Sat alone was there. That idam agre asit, meaning before also. This is even before the creation. Also what was there? Timeless, spaceless. Atma alone. Now also that only is there. Sadeva, now also Sadeva. Means now also the same Sat is there. So you have to discount this time, space, object, that differentiation and all that. That is all not there in the origination. Like origination meaning in the singularity, there cannot be any time or space or any object and all that. Everything comes later. But here what it says, Sadeva Saumya Idam Agre Asit, meaning what it says is, the same Sat was there earlier. That means that the same Sat continues. But what is happening is, because of two components. One is the Maya Prakriti, which you have said, like what you have described, the Sattva, Rajo, Tamo, Gunam, like even our waking, dream and sleep. Waking is active, Rajo Gunam. Dream is, what do you call, waking is Sattva Gunam, dream is Tamo, Rajo Gunam, because only Rajo Gunam is there. Basically in the sense, even though, what do you call, the memory and all are there, but it is very dormant. Automatically what is happening is only Rajo. Just activity is there. In dream you are not able to think and all. There is no original thinking and all. It's all from the memory. So whereas in waking you are able to think. That means Sattva-guna is possible. In dream only Rajo-guna. In sleep only Tamo-guna, inert. Everything is. So every day we are going through Sattva-guna, Rajo-guna, Tamo-guna. So that only gives you the feeling of the world. So, whereas the reality is only Sat. That's what it means. Sateva Saumya Idam Agre Asit Ekam eva advitiyam. There is no second, there is no differentiation, there is only being, which is what the reality which we have been talking about. Generally, I have been sharing notes with you also. That is what he is referring to now. One alone, non-dual, ekam eva advitiyam. So, that is the Kshetrajna, that is what he is saying as Atma. When that is the case, then who is doing? Nobody is doing, really we are only imagining. It is only avidya and adhyasa. That's what he is trying to do. So, in adhyasa and avidya, if you feel like you are doing karma, the person who is having that avidya and adhyasa will be reaping the benefits. Meaning, like even in a dream. In dream, if you kill somebody, you will, as a dreamer, you will get the punishment. But once you wake up, neither the action, the killing is there nor the punishment is there. So you just brush it off, like even in seeing a movie. And you just brush it off and come out. The same way, if you understand, once you understand the reality of this life, there is no karma, there is no sowing the seed and reaping and all that. That's all like a dream. That is what he is trying to say. So, it is a question of understanding. So, one alone, so the question, who is doing, he says, whomsoever is doing. Basically what he says is avidya is doing. Avidya meaning ignorance. Purely out of ignorance you feel you are doing, so you are reaping. So you feel sad, you feel happy, etc. Vishayananda, everything is because of avidya. That's what he is trying to say when he says, one alone, non-dual, ekameva advitiyam alone is there. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. That is in this, only Kshetrajnam is there in all Atma. There is no second Atma. Like this he keeps on telling. Read further, yeah.
All this is this self. Idam sarvam.
Then he quotes all.
I am Atma.
So one alone. From there you read. All this is the self.
One alone, non-dual. Ekame advitiyam. All this is this self. Idam sarvam. Yet
I'm not able to hear you.
Atma.
Oh. You take it.
All this is this self. Idam sarvam. Yet I am Atma. All
This is in the
indeed,
Bhagavad Upanishad that he has quoted. Yeah.
all this is indeed Brahman. Sarvam kalvidam Brahma.
Sarvam kalvidam Brahma meaning Sarvam kalu. Kalu means indeed. That meaning, exact meaning is indeed. Sarvam indeed is Brahma only. Yeah.
Will have no meaning. Not only that, how are you going to establish a second Atma? If there is a seeing Atma and a Karta Atma, in which one will you place I? Is the Karta known to you or not? If it is not known, how can you call yourself Karta?
Yeah, simple question. If you know that my body is acting, my ego is acting, that means what? That ego is other than you. Then how can you call yourself Karta? You have to say ego. Ego is the Karta. Then you are not the Karta. That's what he is trying to say. Yeah.
If you are aware of the Karta, how can you say the Karta is you? There is only one Atma, and that I cannot be placed elsewhere except in consciousness. The experience is I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. And Shastra confirms that the one who does is the one who enjoys the fruits of action.
Whatever.
Noise is coming from your side.
No,
But from me. Then I should have mute.
Yeah.
Then how will you
No. It is all right now.
speak?
But somebody is doing it. Bhagavan himself said, it is the nature of Prakriti to engage itself in action. Swabhavastu pravartate. Prakriti, blessed by Atma, enjoys the consciousness that is reflected in the buddhi, and because of that assumes the form of a desirer and then a karta. Therefore, clearly, doership belongs to antakarana. When a person says I do, it is due to avidya, ignorance. And that doership as well as enjoyership is only for the ignorant person, not for the Atma. If Atma is understood,
What it is now I have this Prakriti as used. No, the Prakriti as I was telling is the Triguna, Maya, Triguna. And the problem is not the Triguna, like waking in the slipper, but The avidya meaning not knowing that it is because of the Prakriti. And because of that, you identify yourself. I am the waker, I am the sleeper, I am the dreamer, and everything that is happening to me. Then you feel sad, you feel bad. Tana talayila akshaya potukurom. So, because of that, you feel you are the karta, because of the avidya. Maya is not the problem, Maya is the Prakriti. But you associate Purusha, your Atma, to Maya, you lend yourself. Then you become then it becomes a samsari. So, if you don't do that, then you are a samsari. So, it's Krishna only knowing. You don't have to do anything, you have to just know this fact. You have to get out of avidya by vidya. That is what he is trying to say. Yeah.
Okay. If Atma is understood as Akarta, he understands that he performs no action, but the sense organs, mind, and organs of organs of action all do their jobs. If he is ignorant, they and their activities are superimposed upon the Atma, and he will think that he performs action and is affected by the result. In reality, there is only one Paramatma in which there is no action. Those who understand this vision and have commitment in it do not have notions of the Atma being a doer and enjoyer, and therefore have no qualification for action. Even though the Veda enjoins karma, it is only for the person who has ignorance, not the one who knows Atma is Akarta. Even if he performs action, he knows he does not perform any action. Doing, he does not do. Seeing, he does not see. Hearing, he does not hear. Kurannapi na karoti pashyan na pashyati shravana.
Fourth.
Read it like this. Kuruvannapi na karoti. Pashyan na pashyati. Sunuvan na sunoti.
Yeah. It is the same English meaning. Yeah. The results of such actions definitely do not affect the person who recognizes the truth that Atma is Akarta. The next verse illustrates how he does not act and is not affected.
Verse 32. Like space, Atma is untouched. Yatha sarvagatam sauksyat akasham nopalipyate sarvatravastito dehe tathatma nopalipyate. Yatha, just as, sarvagatam, all pervasive, akasham, a space, saukshmyat, being subtle, na upalipyate, is not affected, tatha atma, so too the self, sarvatra, in all states, avastitaha, abiding, dehe, in the body, na upalipyate, is not affected. Just as all pervasive space, because it is subtle, is not affected, so too the self, abiding in all states in the body, is not affected. Space being subtle, meaning it has no form, is not affected by anything that happens in it. You can erect walls, even throw debris, but space remains unstained. It has no limbs or attributes, and therefore is not affected by anything that takes place within it. Having no form, it is also all pervasive. Similarly, Atma obtaining in the body in all states is not affected. Whether the mind is pleased or displeased, has a longing or aversion, is angry or frustrated, the one who obtains in all these states, though never away from them, remains unaffected. There is no necessity for the mind to be quiet or for thoughts to be dismissed, for Atma to reveal itself. It obtains in all states and at the same time is not affected at all. You may have any thought, it makes no difference to Atma. Therefore, no matter what the Upadhi is undergoing, you are not affected. To illustrate how one Atma can illumine all the Kshetras, Bhagavan gives the following verse. Swamiji, there is no necessity for the mind to be quiet or for thoughts to be dismissed, for Atma to reveal itself. But they say meditation.
So that is why he is mentioning this. Basically, because generally in meditation as well as in Patanjali Yoga Sutras and all that, You have to, and for you to be with Atma, you have to take the last thought out of your mind and all that. See, meditation or observing the thought, observing the mind, these are all a practice. Practice in the sense how to keep your mind focused, chitta naishalyam, and so that you are able to focus on your subject matter at hand, keeping all the thoughts aside. In the sense, like we have told, no, that prajahati ata kaman sarvan partha. Just suspend the apohanam, like matta smritil jnanam apohanam chavyo.
Yes.
The apohanam is suspending the thoughts. To that extent, you need the discipline of meditation and all that, just to suspend the thoughts so that you can concentrate on the subject at hand. It is not that when you are, now we are looking at Gita, it is not all your problems have been solved. There is no problem, no issues at home, nothing. But for the time being, you are suspended. That for you to suspend and listen and study or doing anything with the ekagrata buddhi, that for that a practice of meditation is required. But in terms of understanding the reality, once you understand the reality, whether the thoughts are there or not there, the reality doesn't change. That is what he is trying to say. It is not once, because understanding of Atma is question of removing avidya by vidya. It has nothing to do with concentration or meditate. Just because you meditate, like Swamiji used to say, you put a book of Gita in front of you and meditate. Will you understand? You have to study. You have to study and understand. Vidya only can remove avidya. Here the problem is one of avidya, not knowing what is the reality of Atma, what is the reality of Prakriti, what is the reality of my body, mind, senses, my emotions, etc. Where I have to place them. If I understand the reality, place it properly, I am Atma, all these are the very fact I handle my emotions, handle my thoughts, they are other than me. That is why I am able to handle them. This understanding has to be there. For that, vidya is required, not meditation or not keeping the mind empty of thoughts. That is not that. So mind is not this. Mind is only an instrument. You identify totally with the mind and then you say I am helpless. So for that purpose, suppose you are totally identified with the mind, how to get you to study properly? Even children, you have to, sometimes you tell them meditate or do some Ramana Japa, then you will be alright. Take some deep breathe, then you will be alright. So that you are able to focus on your study, you will forget all the other things coming into your mind. So for that purpose, meditation is required, not for removing all the thoughts is not going to give you the knowledge. That's what he's trying to say. That is why removing the thoughts are not required. That's what he says. Yeah.
Swamiji, I have a question. I am trying to clarify my understanding. If I understand that I am Atma, I am not the body or the mind or anything like that, then I don't have any kind of happiness or sorrow because I see something bad or good, or I experience something bad or good, or I hear something bad or good. Is that right?
Actually, experiencing happiness with something bad and good and all that, it is basically the value you import on a situation, first by identifying and then by saying ishtam and ishtam.
Yeah.
Whereas the reality is, if anything that you are that is happening, like even simple Sita Ushnam that we have discussed before also, that your body is feeling the temperature, it is less or more, that it is cold, I don't like being hot, all are superimpositions of your mind. From you have conditioned yourself to say that only when it is cold I like, when it is hot I don't like. So I like, I don't like, heat, cold, opposites are all mithya, which has been superimposed from the mind, from your memory onto the situation. Whereas what is really happening, the body is in touch with the outside. In relation to the outside, temperature is varying. So body sees the temperature. That is the reality. That is the pratiti. And it has nothing to do with your reality. I observe that the body undergoes this temperature. That is the reality statement. Whereas you say, I feel cold and hot. I am happy and happy. The whole thing is a mix-up, complete mix-up of reality and not so real world. Moment to moment we do, we are so much used to it lifelong, we are not able to differentiate that mix-up. And this mix-up is called avidya. As long as you remove this mix-up by vidya and be objective to every moment by proper, even the language has to change in your mind, soliloquy, self-lecturing. If you keep doing that, then okay, temperature is hot. I am used to, my body is used to this particular temperature. I will go and do, if I can do something to change it, I will change it. If it doesn't change, okay, for this moment it is not changing. So you will be very objective even in relatively. You will not get bugged. You will not feel, I don't like it, you will not shout and make yourself further sad. First is difficulty, and then by shouting at yourself, you make further sad. So the whole thing becomes a samsara. So that is precisely what he is trying. There is nothing called anything, there is nothing called happiness, sadness, all our opposites are mithya. There is the only unchanging happiness is your reality. Because it is changeless. It is never and can never undergo a positive or negative opposites and all that. It is always, that is what Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam Brahma. The Anantameva Anandam. Anandam, there is nothing called Anandam. Anantameva Anandam. Limitless, changeless being. Your reality is happiness. So what happens? Why you, the sense, be pleased with yourself is your reality. So now how you look at generally happiness and sadness, anything that allows me to be pleased with myself is a happy situation. And you think that it comes from the external. So anything which you are conditioned as this is a happy situation, when that happens, your pleased self is not disturbed. So you think you are happy. So you are happy basically because of the pleased self. And something that you have conditioned, that external situation, that situation matches my requirement. So I am not disturbed, so I am happy. So I am happy comes from the original reality that pleased self is my nature. But you have conditioned everything outside. If this is like this, my pleased self will not be disturbed. If this is like this, my pleased self will not be disturbed. This is like this, my pleased self will not be disturbed. Like that you have put conditioned, identified and all that. So whenever it happens, you feel I am happy because of that situation. Whenever you feel sad, you think that because that situation is not matching my pleased self. So your pleased self, you are surrendered to various conditioning in your life, right from beginning. And society also supports it. Because they are also in the same boat. So because of that, the condition looks like because of a certain situation, external situation, you become happy or sad. No. So it's all projections. It is called projection. That comes from out of avidya. It has nothing to do with the external situation. It's not that external situation is bad or good. It's all jada. They are what they are. That's all. You only give that satta, meaning you give the reality to them. Actually, the only reality is only you, and it is ever changeless, Atma. So now, okay, if that is the case, what I should do? Okay, when you are relating with the world, and all these things will be there. Even if you know it, also still they will continue to be like that. So that is where we have a sense of balance. Like, okay, that is how people look at it. Let us cater to them as long as possible. We will help them. If it is not possible, also tell them. We will carry on. The sense, phenomenally, we will carry on in such a way. That is where Ishvara comes in. See, Ishvara comes in only to keep this dharma going. Like how to keep others happy, how to ensure that they don't feel unhappy with you, they get angry with you and all that. There is a certain dharma, that level play is there. So that is why all that do unto others, punya, papa, karma, dharma, everything is in the realm of the avidya only. Because you have looked at it all, that everything is because for me and not for me. Either it is for me or against me. Total identification with the Prakriti, in order to keep you going sane, and everyone also is in the same boat, the Dharma and Matrix and Ishvara comes in. Whereas once you understand, Sadeva Soumya Idamagre Asid, changeless reality is my nature, and everything else changing is changing. The Prakriti will keep changing. Changing keeps changing. Changeless is me. Once you understand that, then there is you Ishwaroham. Your realities and Ishwaro's reality is one and the same. Thereafter, you don't have to say that Papa, Punya, Dharma, the matrix does not play thereafter. But till the time you understand and claim your reality, the matrix works. And that is where Ishvara plays the role. So both this we have to understand very clearly. That is what it is. Yeah.
Very good explanation.
Verse 33. Verse 33, like the sun, Atma illumines the entire kshetra. Yata prakashayatyekaha krishnam lokamimam ravihi kshetram kshetri tatha krishnam prakashayati bharata. Bharata, O Arjuna, yatha, just as ekaha ravi, one sun, imam krishnam lokam, this entire world, prakashayati, illumines, tatha, so too, kshetri, the one who obtains in the kshetra, krishnam kshetram, the entire kshetra, prakashayati, illumines. Bharata, Arjuna, just as one sun illumines this entire world, so too the kshetri, one who obtains in the kshetra, illumines the entire kshetra. One sun alone illumines the entire system. Similarly, the kshetri, the one who obtains in the kshetra, illumines the entire kshetra. Kshetri is Atma, the one who for whom the body is a kshetra. This Pratyagatma is Paramatma, illumining the entire kshetra, which includes the mind, senses, body, and this entire world. There is only one Atma illumining all this. Anything that you consider to be a second Atma is only the kshetra. When you count another person, what is it that you are really counting? It is only the body, not Atma. Atma illumines not only this body, but that body also. Then again, if you are aware of your mind, that is kshetra, and if you are aware of someone else's mind, that is also kshetra. In no instance does one objectify another consciousness, because it cannot be objectified, inasmuch as anything objectified is an object of consciousness, while the one who objectifies is always the subject. If you try to establish a difference between yourself and some person, the division between that body and your body is arrived at by space, and that space itself is objectified by both of you. More accurately, in consciousness is the objectification of space. Spatially, there cannot be a division for consciousness, because when space itself is an object of consciousness, how can it divide consciousness? All spatial divisions must exist within space, and consciousness is not within space, but is the very basis for space. Swamiji, this last two, unmute.
One more thing he says, Kshetri, if you really look at it, Kshetri he says. But Kshetrajna means one who knows. Okay? If you know, then there is no problem. Otherwise also the truth remains the same. The Atma remains the same, but remains dormant. Even now, right now, it is there. Same Atma is there. But if you are not alert to that, Kshetrajna, if you don't know that as by way of Jnanam, then you will feel, even though the Kshetri is the same, you will feel different.
So
Because
what is the difference? Kshetri?
Kshetri means the Atma, and Kshetrajna meaning our understanding of that. The understanding along with the Atma presence. My presence, I must understand by alert to that. No. Unless I am alert to that, you don't get the benefit of being a Kshetrajna.
Okay.
Kshetri, right now it is there, all of us, whether you own it up or not, it is there.
Yes,
The same
yes.
Atma is there everywhere. That is why you don't get moksha. You only understand. So there is no, in reality there is no moksha and there is no bondage. Reality is the same. Mukta, all of us are mukta, all beings are mukta only. That is why I sent that note also, no? If you remove the bodies and mind, one small write-up I have sent,
Yes. Advaita.
Only the singularity, that time, space, objects are not there. That's what I am telling. That Sadeva Saumya Idamagre Asit, that is the reality. The same Sat is there all the time. Sat. There is only now. There is no time. There is no space, only here. Here and now does not have dimension. And it is only Sat, all the way Sat. If that this moment, if all of us understand Sat, there is only Sat. Where is the question of any samsara, any whatever happens. Just like even a movie, just play the role. Right now, once that understanding is there, Kshetrajnam, Bhagavan says, Kshetrajnam Chap Vidhi Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. He understands this very clearly. He looks only life as Sat. If we understand it, we can also say Kshetrajna. Otherwise, Bhagavan is explaining Kshetri, the same Atma is there everywhere. But the problem is, it is only there. You don't know it. So Kshetri is there, but Kshetrajna is not. Jnana means the Jnana component is knowing. Unless you know, you don't get the benefit. That is a very important differentiation.
There is only one consciousness. The mind is also within time-space. There is no mind without a thought, and there is no thought that does not have consciousness as its content. Then all the elements are also from the same Chaitanya, Atma alone, and are objectified by Chaitanya. Also, there is no second consciousness. There is no pramana for it, and Shastra also makes it very clear that there is only one consciousness, Ekam Chaitanyam. If you have any doubt, just close your eyes and see how many consciousnesses are there. Anything you think of is going to be an object of Chaitanya. Therefore, all that is there is one consciousness. All that is there is one consciousness. Just as the sun illumines the entire world that is seen by you right now, so too the one who indwells the Kshetra illumines the entire Kshetra, all the subtle and gross elements, everything that is known and unknown. As there is only one self-luminous sun, there is only one self-effulgent Atma. Then again, it is unaffected by whatever it illumines. If it illumines the Gita, the sun does not become more exalted. And if it illumines Playboy, it does not shrink. Similarly, Atma is not in any way affected by what it happens to illumine. Since it is not subject to objectification, nothing in this creation can affect the Atma. In order for something to be affected, it has to be objectified by something else. And Atma is the one that illumines everything, and which nothing else can illumine. Nothing can touch it. The last verse sums up the entire vision that was unfolded by this chapter.
Verse 34. Those who know the difference between Kshetra and Kshetrajna reach the ultimate end. Kshetrajnayo evam antaram jnana chakshusha bhuta prakriti moksham cha ye vidudyanti te param. Those who evam in this manner Kshetrajnayo between the Kshetra and Kshetrajna, antaram the distinction, cha and bhuta prakriti moksham freedom from prakriti, the cause of the beings, jnana chakshusha through the eye of wisdom, viduhu know, param ultimate end, te yanti they go. Those who in this manner know the distinction between the Kshetra and Kshetrajna through the eye of wisdom and know the freedom from Prakriti, the cause of the beings, they go to the ultimate end. The difference between Kshetra and Kshetrajna is to be known, evam, in the manner that has been shown in this chapter. This is important to note because everybody knows that Kshetra is the world and oneself is the knower of it, Kshetrajna. This is not enough. When you say, I am Kshetrajna, this I has to travel to Atma, the one who has been shown to be the same in all the Kshetras, who is fullness, Purna, and out of whom everything has come, the one that illumines everything, and itself is free from everything. We have to know in which way Kshetra and Kshetrajna are non-different and in which way they are different, as it has been shown in this chapter. By what do they know? By the eye of knowledge, Jnana Chakshusha. Bhagavan says the eye of knowledge because when you see something with your own eyes, your perception is considered final. Even in a court case, the report of an eyewitness is conclusive evidence. Shankara defines Jnana Chakshu as the cognition by which you recognize the Swarupa of Atma. How does it take place? He says it is born of teaching through the grace of the Shastra and the teacher. Through the teacher, the Shastra becomes a pramana whereby you gain immediate recognition of Atma. The grace of Ishvara is necessary for the teacher and student to come together, and then the grace of Shastra, teacher, yourself and Ishvara are necessary for you to be able to understand the meaning of the Shastra. That knowledge alone is Jnana Chakshu. The eye is a good analogy here because, like an eye that has a cataract, the mind also is covered by ignorance. The opening of the eye of wisdom is the removal of the cover of ignorance that corrects the person's vision. This vision must be complete, and that is pointed out here by saying that they gain release from the cause of all the beings and elements. For all the bhutas, the jiva, the cause is Maya or Prakriti or Avidya. They are all synonymous. The cause for an individual to continue to be born again and again is Avidya. It means even if the entire creation is dissolved and all the karmas of the jivas are unmanifest, there is no release from samsara. That occurs only by jnana. The knowledge of the difference between Kshetra and Kshetrajna must be such that it releases one from the cause of the beings. Those who know this go to the ultimate end from which there is no return. Usually, when you go somewhere, you come back or keep going. But Param means that from which there is no coming back or going elsewhere, and this can only be in the form of knowledge. Knowing that he is the Kshetrajna and that the Kshetra is not separate from him, there is no question of his coming back. He does not take another birth. Living, he is liberated, which is what we are interested in, but then he does not return, which means from the standpoint of others, he is in the form of Ishvara, while from his own standpoint, there is only Param Brahma. All that he wanted to be, he is. Om Tat Sat. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su.
The last statement is very important. The last statement is important. Like, see, once he knows, he is in the form of Ishvara, while from his own standpoint, there is only Param Brahma.
Yeah.
In the sense, once you understand is that Atma, Brahman is the reality. Reality understanding is there. So, Ishvara is only in terms of the Prakriti. Like, once there is a variety and there is a order, there is physical order, chemical order, psychological order, all those varieties come into play. Once the varieties come into play, who is the Adhyaksha? Ishvara. So, which is the sum total of all the powers, all the Shakti and all that, that is what is we have nominated Ishvara as the all power, all Shakti. That's why Swamiji always used to say, infallible is Ishvara. It is not, once Ishvara becomes infallible, no. Infallible is what you have defined as Ishvara. So, that is you, all your, whatever your Prakriti, and because of that your plus, minus, punya, papa, karma, whole worldly activities and karma, diksha, all karma, paladata, everything you surrender into Ishvara, which you have defined as the omnipotent and omniscient. So, in light of that creation, which is continuous changing Prakriti, Ishvara is the dominant, is the supreme leader or something like that. So, Ishvara and Prakriti go together. But once you understand the Swarupa of Ishvara, Paramatma and your Atma are one and the same, you are out of samsara, and there again, that the Ishvara is only, thereafter you propitiate only for the purpose of Loka Sangrahara. Because there will be still people around you who will be still looking at life as sad, bad and all that. For them, you pray. You pray for their welfare, that Ishvara please, like that. But in your understanding, it must be very clear, Ishvaroham. I have nothing to gain, nothing to lose. That is precisely the understanding. That is what is differentiating, saying that While from his own standpoint, there is only Param Brahma. That is the understanding of this chapter. We have to understand that is a reality understanding. That is where the equation gets established. Tat and Tvam Asi. 6 chapters Tvam, second 6 chapters Tat, Asi. Now he has established that you are Param Brahma. So 13th chapter starts bang with like that. From now on, how to claim it, how to consolidate this understanding. So we will talk about Shraddha. That a lot of this, whatever we have talked about in terms of Prakriti Guna, Sattva, Rajo, Tamo Guna and all that, we have to keep on reducing the Tamo Guna and Rajo Guna. Make your mind as the Shuddha Sattva. That is why Atma also is called Shuddha Sattva, because at the Sattva level, your understanding will be very clear. And there again, you should not feel that it should not be appropriated by the ego. No, I know everything. That again you have to keep. That is why Shuddha Sattva. Even though Sattva is there, it has to be cleared of this ego and all that. You be even with your reality. And ego and all are really needed only for a purpose of operating in the world. Totally deflated ego, enlightened ego, Swamiji used to say. Yes, for the operating purpose. Okay, for the world you have to be around as a single person and all that. For that purpose you have that. But it will not have that, the ego is not going to tell I am Param Brahma. Ego is part of the world. Your reality is Param. So that again he will explain all those things, how to get there. That is what the 14th chapter, 16, 17 will be like that. 15th chapter Purushottama will be
Yoga.
Again explanation of the what is the Uttama Purusha, what it is and all that he will explain. But 14, 16, 17 will be mainly this, all the 3 gunas, that is Sattva Guna, Raja Guna, Tamo Guna, will be, which is there in every walk of life. Even a philanthropist, if he does it for the purpose of ego satisfaction, he is called a Rajo philanthropist. If he does it for the purpose of putting down others, he is a Tamo philanthropist. If he really does it for the purpose of Loka Shankararthan, then only his philanthropy will give him punya. Otherwise it will be less punya only. So like that, right from philanthropy onwards, even if a person does any bad act out of ignorance, then he will not have that much of papa. Whereas if he does it deliberately, then he will have more papa. All that, everything, papa punya will be classified as sattva guna, raja guna, tama guna. And he will explain it so, and that will help in terms of our worldly life, where we really stand. Whether we are really sattva or we have contaminated with rajas and tamas. Whether we know our personality, whether we have multiple personalities, whether we are helpful, whether we are really helpful, or we are doing it for the purpose of ego satisfaction. All those things we can look at it. We can look at ourselves through these explanations of this sattva guna, raja guna, tama guna in every walk of life. Even dharma, even punya karma, even rituals, everything. Whether if you do it with for Loka Shankarartham and Antakarana Shuddhi, then that is the most efficacious bhakti or puja. If you do it for getting some more promotion and all that, there is only Rajoguna Bhakti. So like that he will differentiate. So that we will know exactly where we stand in our attitude and values and all that. Those things will be explained in the next chapter. Yeah, let us.
Om Tatsat Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Juna Samvade Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaka Yogo Nama Trayodashodhyayaha.
Om Brahman is the only reality. Thus ends the 13th chapter called Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. Having the topic of the known and unknown and knower in the Bhagavad Gita, which is in the form of a dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna, which is the essence of the Upanishads, whose subject matter is both the knowledge of Brahman and Yoga. Om Tat Sat. This indicates the end of the chapter. Om means Brahman. Tat Sat, that alone is truth.
Able to hear me?
Huh?
Are you able to hear me?
Very feeble.
Feeble.
Let Appa finish this.
Okay.
Om Tat Sat. This indicates the end of the chapter. Om means Brahman. Tat Sat, that alone is truth. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu. In the Bhagavad Gita, which is equivalent to Upanishads, because it is a work revealing the identity of Atma and Brahman, Brahma Vidyayam. In this Brahma Vidya, a Shastra whose subject matter is Brahma Vidya. And it is not only Brahma Vidya which deals with realities, it is Yoga Shastra. It talks about the Antakarana Shuddhi, Antakarana and Karmas, etc., telling what one has to do for purification of the mind. And Dharma, various disciplines, values, prayer, all come under Yoga Shastra. In this Yoga Shastra, and this was in the form of a dialogue that took place between Krishna and Arjuna, Krishna-Arjuna Samvada. In this dialogue, Krishna-Arjuna Samvade is this Trayodashodhyaya, 13th chapter, dealing with the topic yoga of separation from Kshetra and Kshetrajna, or the discrimination between Prakriti and Purusha.
One minute. Book and wait. While you wait.
Prashant can read.
Prashant, yes.
You can hear me?
Ah,
You can hear me now?
Yes, yes.
now it is okay. No.
Chapter 14.
Yeah.
Gunatraya Vibhaga Yogaha. Topic of the division of the three gunas. Introduction. The 14th chapter deals with the three gunas and the transcendence of them, which is moksha. Introducing this chapter, Shankara notes that anything that is created is due to the connection between the kshetra and the kshetrajna. To show how this connection accounts for what we call the creation, Bhagavan begins the 14th chapter. Alternatively, Shankara says it is to address certain questions raised in the 13th chapter, particularly those raised in verse 21. Therefore, it was made clear that the Kshetra and Kshetrajna have the status of being the cause of creation and not independent Prakriti in the presence of Purusha as proposed by the Sankyas. For them, Purushas are many, each different from the other and detached, asanga from Prakriti. And Prakriti, which is independent of the Purusha, independently creates the world. We have already said that Purusha, however, is not remote, even though asanga, because he always obtains in the Prakriti. The apparent connection of Purusha to the Prakriti, comprising of gunas, which is due to avidya, is the cause of all samsara, including various types of births. Here, Shankara, introducing the chapter, raises the following questions. What are the gunas? How do they bind? How is one to be released of them? What are the characteristics of the free person? This book.
1 minute, Prashant. The 21st வந்து Purusha Prakritisto hi Bhungte Prakriti Jan Gunan Karanam Guna Sangosya Sat Asatyo Nijanmasu.
Yeah.
Asatyoni Janmasu.
So all the differentiation between Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Prakriti, Purusha, so that was what was?
It is due to gunas, huh?
Yeah, due to gunas. Basically, the whole thing is due to gunas. The question raised will be now answered in this particular thing. There it was only said what is the difference between Kshetra and Kshetrajna, Purusha and Prakriti. Prakriti is made of gunas. Likewise, Kshetra is made of gunas. But that how the gunas affect Kshetrajna and Purusha, how he gets, how the avidya comes into play. All those things will explain gunas.
Why we are born in, he says, la yoni, sat asat yoni.
Yeah, basically, yeah, it's a
Because
combination.
of gunas.
Every one of us has got all the combinations. In the sense, if, from the karma bank, Chitrabuddha just has to pull out certain elements, then we'll be born as tiger. If certain elements are brought together, then we'll be born as frog. If certain things are brought together, because we have got all the karmas that are required for a particular yoni. So that is why they say that is, again, as I have been telling, it's only a prakriya. Prakriya means a methodology. Why? Because they want us to discourage by saying that I am getting to a better punya deva yoni, I will be a happy person. It doesn't happen that way. That the Shastra wants to discourage us to do this karma calculation, permutation, combination, and I will do some good karma and I will go to heaven, so that I will be happy there and all that. That is all kite flying. He says it doesn't work that way. Because every one of us, even if you gain some punya, once that punya is exhausted, because once you go to Loka, there you will only exhaust the punya, there you cannot do any karma. The karma is possible only where the kartrutvam is possible. Kartrutvam, the free will to be a karta, is only in the human body. So here only you can gain punya or gain papa. Everywhere else you will either exhaust papa or exhaust punya. So either way, once you exhaust punya, what is remaining? Only papa. So you will come back. Once you go to the Naraka Loka or whatever you call, exhaust papa, what is remaining? Only punya. You will come here only again. So by papa punya calculation, permutation, combination, you are not going to get out of samsara. You will be going up and down. That's all. So that for that, the Srishti Prakriya, the Karma Prakriya is talking about. Because Shastra does not have any tatparya in karma. Ultimately, he wants us to understand that I am not the karta. The karma belongs to the Prakriti, it will keep going, changing reality, continuously keep changing world. And whereas your reality is the changeless. And ultimately, what I have said in that note also is that the changeless Atma, the changeless being, Anuro Naniyan Mahato Maniyan, is its expression, its manifestation is only the whole Jagat. So why this Jagat is? Because of your glory. Your being Anuro Naniyan, the limitless, changeless being. If a small, as I have explained in that note, a small anu, when it expands, so much of matter and energy. And further down, the particle explodes so much of matter. And further down, if you keep on extrapolating, you are the being, changeless, timeless, motionless, objectless being. So you are naturally, when you manifest, it will be infinite only. When zero manifests, it will be infinite only. Cannot be anything in between. So that is your manifestation is the variety of world and all that. So, identifying with the world, you will be within the variety only. It is not going to, it's endless. Likewise, your karma will be endless, your yonis will be endless. So, you will be keep on by coming and going, chakram. As well, samsara chakram, aparavik chakram, and aparavik kadal, all those things are there. You will be there only. So, the only way to get out of it is understanding that you are Atma, you are the Atma. And every one of us, this is the same thing. The being is the same in everywhere. And its only manifestation is the world. That is the final understanding. So, for that understanding, you have to, how it happens, why your Purusha and Prakriti gets connected by the gunas. That you will be explaining in the 14th chapter, 16th chapter, 17th chapter, and 18th chapter, you will finally say that where exactly your understanding only will help. And there are so many ways you will sum up and all that. And 15th chapter also, what is the Uttama Purusha? That is, the Uttama Purusha is again Atma only. Paramatma, he will explain the glory of it in so many ways. So that we have that Abhilasha to understand. Our focus should be on Brahma Vidya. Yoga is only to help. Yoga is not just to be a yogic person all the time. Yoga is only upaya. Upaya is jnanam. So the focus should be finally in Brahma Vidya. And understanding that Atma and Brahman are one and the same. So that we will go through. Yeah.
Well, we will start.
So you read the introduction page. Finish up. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Verse 1, Brahma Vidya is the ultimate, the most exalted among forms of knowledge. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Param Bhuyah Pravakshyami Jnananam Jnanamuttamam Yajnatva Munayah Sarve Param Siddhimito Gataha. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha said, Yat Jnatva, knowing which, Sarve Munayaha, all the sages, Itaha, from this body, Param Siddhim, the ultimate success, release, Gataha, had reached, Jnananam, among all forms of knowledge. Uttamam, the most exalted. Param, the ultimate. Jnanam, knowledge. Bhuyaha, again. Pravakshyami, I shall tell clearly. See, Bhagavan said, I shall tell again clearly the ultimate, the most exalted knowledge among all forms of knowledge, gaining which all the sages had reached the ultimate success, released from this body.
We stop here, Swamiji.
Swami.
இல்லை நமக்கு கேட்காது வேணும் மூட் பண்ணிருக்கோம்.
இல்லை, mute இல்லை.
I will start.
Okay.
We will start tomorrow. Okay.
Yes.
We'll start with the same verse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Swamiji, this book is smaller than all the other books actually.
Yeah. Actually, it will deal with three more chapters. 18th chapter will be the 9th volume. Will be a very big volume.
I know, 70 ஆமா, yes.
Because it is only going to tell you, differentiate where your mixing up is happening between Prakriti and Purusha, between Kshetrajna and Kshetrajna, so that you are very clear and so that you clearly, the sense you don't have to do anything, you have to know. The question is, the whole Brahma Vidya is only knowing, not doing. Because doing, you have been doing all along, nothing has changed. So by doing good karma, you are not going to get out of samsara. You may go up and down. So the stress is not on karma but on jnana. Good karma should only help you to come to this understanding, come to this reading. For that you need that which I have been mentioning, chitta shuddhi, chitta naischalyam, chitta samadhanam. All this will come out of karma. That is all the only benefit you can get from yoga. The understanding is the key. That is what is going to sum up in the 18th chapter. Here also, the rest 2-3 also you will tell at the time. Yeah.
Okay.
Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate
Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.